Thanks to the amazing folks over at Ameda City through the Predecessor Creators Guild, I've been given an opportunity to take a first look at Predecessor's upcoming patch, patch 1.4. This patch is absolutely massive and has some changes for every single hero in the game. It's also going to bring us our next Predecessor hero, Boris, who's going to be charging his way into Sanctuary. We got a lot to cover in this patch, so let's get to it. Sevarog is a tank hero in Predecessor, played primarily in jungle or in offlane. He is now officially the tanky boy with the changes that they have brought to him. Quite a few changes coming to his kit in patch 1.4, and we're going to go over those now. His passive, Reaper of Souls, has been reworked and now really is the crux of his tanking ability. The way his passive works is that every instance of damage that Sevarog does with an ability grants him 1 soul, and each soul grants him 1 bonus health and 0.5 additional Siphon damage, which is his primary ability. The way that they've reworked this now is that when he hits a certain number of souls absorbed with this passive, he gains features as the game goes on. So at 40 souls, he gains his tier 1, which is 15% Omnivamp. At 80 souls, he gains tier 2, which gives him an aura that will shred nearby enemy heroes' magical armor by 20%. At tier 3, his ultimate is enhanced, which we will talk about later. At tier 4, the aura that we mentioned in tier 2 now affects, it now shreds all targets and deals 1% targets max health as magical damage every second. In addition to these tiers, when he unlocks a new tier, he also gains 40, 60, 80, and 100, same as the souls required to unlock the tier, and bonus health. So all in all, a great change to him. They've also changed the maximum stacks, previously 300, to now 9,999, meaning he's able to gain up to 9,999 bonus health and whatever half of that is in damage in his Siphon. Speaking of Siphon, this is his primary ability that is a cone-shaped ability that hits enemies in front of him. It deals damage depending on his max HP and his magical damage. They have removed the stack tier damage, and it now functions in the passive that we just discussed. They've also removed the healing that he gets from this, but as he gains those tiers through his passive, he'll have some sustain. They have lowered the magical damage scaling, magical pin scaling, but they've added a 3% bonus HP scaling, which incentivizes building health on his kit. The next change they have done is to his secondary ability, Subjugate. They've increased the radius of this ability, but they've taken the slow away from the ability. The base damage is down, but the root duration is up. So, a wider ability with a longer root, but no slow. All in all, I think that's a win for him. The next change is to his alternate ability, Phantom Rush. Now, this ability deals maximum health damage when he passes through an enemy and slows them by 75% for half a second. I think this is a great change to this ability because previously it didn't do as much damage and previously it didn't do as much slowing. So this is a good change for him because it's going to give him some sticking power, because that's one area where he kind of suffers, is that his movement speed is a little bit slower than other heroes and he lacks as much mobility. It's kind of difficult for him to stay right on an enemy. The last change is to his ultimate. They have lowered the base damage and they have lowered the scaling on the ability. But I think overall with his kit, he's seen some, he has seen some benefits. Namely, the tier 3 that we said we would discuss in his passive Reaper of Souls, when he enhances his ultimate, the cooldown is reduced by 50% and it now executes all minions. So you will get more uses as well as nice wave clear. should you commit it to that. So let me know what you guys think about the changes that they've made to Sevarog and whether or not you plan on playing him in patch 1.4.